Hi everyone, you're welcome again to Mentor Ish. If it's your first time here, you're welcome to the Mentor Ish family. Please subscribe to this channel, of course, and share this channel with your family, your friends, your loved ones. And if you are returning, thank you for coming again. You know, I love you all. Here we spread positivity, right, and help you get your mental health to, 100. So today I have with me a special guest. Now let me introduce myself in case you're coming in newly. My name is Tibi Tokwe. So today I have with me a special guest. His name is Dennis Balogun. Is my friend, my brother. We've been friends since we're like 6 years old, literally. So he's an IT person. You know when they say tech guys, tech bros, that's one of them. So Dennis, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
I know you're introverted.
Exactly.
I know you hate to do this, but thank you for agreeing to do this to me, right? You just had to do this because today's topic resonates greatly with you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you doing this. I don't take this for granted.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so today we will be talking about work life balance. And the reason why we're talking about this is because this is one aspect that a lot of people struggle with. Like, even I myself, I'm still trying to create this balance in my life every now and then. And a lot of people have spoken with, like, I think it's an ever ending cycle.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. Right.
it's a never ending cycle. So I believe this is something we should talk about. Okay?
Yep.
So, but first, introduce yourself. Who are you? Let the camera meet you. Let my guest meet
Okay,
you.
okay, guys. Once again, thanks for having me here. I know it's kind of weird me doing this, but anything for you. So
Oh, thank
my
you.
name is Dennis, and the only thing I would, because I'm still growing up, right, and I can't really say so much. I say this is that, but pastor's kid and a little into IT, but I won't start calling myself tech bro yet. But thank God for the journey so far. It has all been good. Nah, but it's all been good. Thank you.
All right, okay. So, my first question to you is when you say work life balance, what does it mean to you?
Over the past few days, thinking about today, I got thinking about that question a lot, and
Okay,
I saw myself doing a lot of things now that I'm working from home.
okay.
So this is the best way I'll put work-life balance. It is prioritizing. Like,
Hmm.
how do I prioritize my work and my life?
Hmm.
So which one am I going to give the 70%? Which one am I going to give the 30%, right?
30%. Hmm.
And for me, it is very important. And I will say majorly because of how my social life is.
Hmm.
My social life is not, I don't say I don't have one, but it is, it's something I'm working on. It's work in progress. And for now, I would say that I'm giving work more than social life.
Hmm.
So I because when we talk about work-life balance, and the general understanding is that we would want to say, I'm giving all my time to work and I should
Hmm.
prioritize my life.
Hmm.
But wait, if it's just the work that you have, you also have to give your time to that.
Right.
And then the other one, you are going to work towards it and make something out of it. So, not to say too much, I think it's just which one I'm going to give. And I believe is at a particular stage in your life that you have
Hmm.
to choose, right? So
Hmm.
someone that is just getting into career would actually want to say, okay, I'm going to put a little hold to my social
Hmm.
life or to
Hmm.
a little bit of personal life and then
Hmm.
put more effort into my
Hmm.
work life and
Hmm.
then see how it goes from there. So for me,
Okay.
it's just prioritizing and knowing which one should go first and majorly on your goals and what you have planned for your future. So
Okay.
that's a bit for
Okay,
me.
that's okay. That's right. But just buttressing on what you said, for me, it's more like having the best of both worlds. Like
Makes
having the
sense.
best of the career path and also having the best of your personal space, your
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
right? Being intentional about it. Now, you work remotely.
Finally.
Some of us do not have the luxury yet. However, we still strive to create balance and still live a happy life.
Yeah.
Because even when you love to do something, if you are always doing that and you don't take like a breather, to do other things, it can become very, you can feel so choked, and you might even begin to feel frustrated and unhappy
Yeah.
when what you even love now almost seems like a chore. It doesn't seem like what you love anymore because
Exactly.
you need to take
Exactly.
rest, you need to take breaks.
Sure.
So for me, it's like striving to have the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to be asking you some questions, of
Mhm.
course, and I'll also be giving my answers too. So let's make
Yeah,
this
sure, sure.
as interactive
I would
as
love to
it can
also
be.
hear your views. I know you've been into this career space a while. Maybe you might.
Okay, Dennis. So
Mhm.
my next question is, how do you set boundaries between work and personal life? I'm very interested in this actually.
Tell you the truth, that I won't say I have a grip on that yet, but it's
Mhm.
something that um still working on, right?
Right.
So I would have to give you a bit of examples to be able to clarify my points or
Okay.
to be able to get this out. So the first time I ever got um, a job, right, and it was in a bank,
Okay.
and I was like, okay, I was expecting so much, but all my life I've told myself that working in a bank is a no-go area. But you know
Hmm.
the economy, right?
How
At a long
Nigeria is.
run, yeah,
Nigeria just happened.
exactly
I
when you
find
come out
yourself
of
doing what you didn't
school,
think you're going to do.
exactly.
Makes
So
sense.
you have no choice. You
Hmm.
have to do something and then take care of some needs, right? So working in a bank, I started in a department that um deal with a lot of money, right?
Okay.
And you being able to be I'm looking for the word. Sorry. So you being able to handle that task very well is what would help with balancing and with other priorities that you have.
Okay.
So when I started, they were giving me a little bit of okay time to understand everything, and then
Yes.
after a long run, I had to find what works for me,
Hmm.
right? Because when I find what works for me, and then I can now start saying, okay, these are the boundaries I'm going to give to this work.
Right.
But the weird thing is that because I have a kind of a weird learning curve, right?
Hmm.
I need to do a lot to be able to get
Hmm.
a handle of a
Agree.
particular task and
Hmm.
all of that. So taking all of that, I had to take it home.
Hmm.
Took work home.
Okay. That was in the start, right?
Exactly. I had to take work home. I had to be able to understand the core of what I needed to do to be able to try very well. Because I'm someone that, oh, if a manager should come to me and point out something, yes, I know I'm learning, but it hits me and I feel bad about it.
Oh, really?
Exactly. It
Oh,
actually
okay.
takes a lot. So I will go back, try to look at everything I've done, and then, okay, where did I go wrong? I had to do that recently because I'm also in a new job and trying to understand that before I now start setting boundaries and be like,
Hmm.
okay, this is what is going to happen. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop that.
Hmm.
So, but in the beginning, I had to be taking work home.
Hmm.
So there was no boundaries. Everything was open. I
Hmm.
had to do that because of what I know I
Hmm.
needed to be able to achieve also
Hmm.
in that role,
Hmm.
right? So right now, I would say that the boundaries I've been able to set clearly is to say, oh, work-related emails, all these applications that I'll have to have on my phone
Hmm.
just to be able to keep in touch with work.
Hmm.
I removed everything
Hmm.
because I know that at this point, if you call me to do something, I'm probably your go-to guy. Yes, I know,
Hmm.
but I don't want to give you that. Not because I don't like work, not because I don't like my
Right.
manager, not because I don't like what is going on
Hmm.
in that role, but the fact that I want to have a clear mind.
Hmm.
My weekend should be my weekend.
Right.
Even if
Work
I know
time
I'm
is
not
work.
exactly, even if I'm not going to be going out, even if I'm
Self time
not doing
itself.
anything, I just want to know that okay, I'm not thinking about anything work. I'm just thinking about what I need to do maybe on a Saturday and just hang out. So for me, the boundaries was all the applications that relates to work, anything that has to do with work, I just keep everything at work. As I'm leaving work, I'm
Hmm.
leaving them behind.
Hmm.
And
Thank
when I get
you.
home, I'm at home.
Very good, because I'm about to throw you on the spot. Okay,
Okay.
so now that you work remotely, I mean, you literally have this workspace built, this
Mhm.
work console built, and now you just literally roll out of bed and get
Exactly.
into work. So, how do you manage that? Because during COVID, like when everybody was at home,
Yeah.
during that period that we had to work from home,
Yes.
I feel like I even worked more then because you're not going through traffic like you would on a normal day when you're going
Exactly.
to work. So as soon as you get up, you get to work. And then you end to even spend longer hours. Let's say close time at work was like 6 or 7, you know you're living
Yeah.
at this time. But at home, there's really no time limits. You just find yourself even going extra hours,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like, how do you balance that? You know, waking up and seeing your console, your
Oh.
workspace right in front of you, everything. How do you handle?
I guess the best way to put that is that now work is at home. The so-called work from home is actually
Okay.
work from home now.
Okay.
Because, as you said, I think one of my boundaries is actually to have a workstation app.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you might probably just pull your laptop and stay on the bed,
Oh.
right? It doesn't really give you the sense that you're working. Yeah, I know some guys, right? Some of my guys will tell me that, "Oh, I just my laptop is on the bed, I sleep off, and they wake up that same way, pick up the laptop again, and continue working." But for
Right.
me, the reason why, even before having a work from home opportunity, right, I needed a
Yes,
place
you've
to be
always
like,
had a
okay,
proper workspace, really.
exactly. I need to see that, okay, that is work, and when
Whoa.
I'm there, it is work.
And when you're
Right?
out of there,
Exactly. Once I'm living there, it is.
nice.
So for me, that was how I was able to say that, okay, regardless that I'm working from home, I still have to set all of these boundaries, right? And it is planning ahead of it. So I had to get all of these gadgets, get all of this, and be able to set up something that will make me see that, okay, I am actually at work. And when I'm sitting here, everybody knows that, okay, this person is focused on work and I'm
Wow.
doing work, right? I know it is quite difficult because, just as I said, COVID came and all companies were like, okay, we need to go home now due to the health challenges and all of that. So I found myself also doing the same thing. I was working more, close by 5, and extend it probably to 10, right? Now another thing was that I think this is the part we probably don't want to go deep into, but also the employers were also making use of that. Some of
Okay.
them will make you feel guilty.
Oh.
You are working from home. Why have you not done this? You are working from home. You should have.
Okay,
They
at
say
the
they
time,
need
okay.
exactly, right. So based on when I was working in bank, right, because that was
At
the
that
first
time.
time. Yes, I was still working in bank. So the branches already knew that all the people working back in are at home, so they should be able to. So they'll call you up at any time.
That's the thing about working from home. They put more
Exactly.
pressure because, and I don't exactly blame them because I mean the employers, because they just want to be sure that you're doing
You are
what you were
doing what you're
paid to
doing.
do, right? Because
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry, but some adults are not responsible.
Yeah. They
Some
misuse it.
adults need to be supervised. Like
Yeah.
these are things that I have seen one on one, and in my head, I'm
Sure.
like,
Sure.
are you an adult? Like you should be able to take responsibility at a certain age. So I understand their concerns and all, which is valid. But for persons like also are responsible, sometimes your mind you're like, don't worry, I know what to do. I got this. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You're right. So the only thing, right, working from home or is you being able to also get the people working with you to understand that you are actually doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, I remembered something while still working from the office, right? And when I'm going to call a colleague in another location, and I pick up the phone, I'm like, oh, hey, good day, my name is Dennis. I want to talk to this person. And the next thing I hear is that, why are you sounding so professional? And I'm like, "Hey, I'm at work. Right? You should actually be
Because they're
professional."
at home, they feel like I'm at home. Like
So I'm at
let's be
work.
laid
I
back.
try to like, okay, this is how work should be like. So by the time I start mixing it up, not because I don't want to relate with anybody, not because I don't want to go and start talking about, so, oh, how are you? Yeah, we do all of that, but we are still at work.
I understand. So what you're saying is work time is work time,
Exactly.
regardless of where you are,
Exactly.
and self time is self time.
Yes. So because when you are now at home, you know that, okay, yes, I'm at work. I need to also give that level of professionalism to working also from home, right? So, and eventually when I got to the next job, you now have to start talking to clients that are not just local,
The international.
international, right? You can't just start up the conversation and you are talking out or how you relate to someone, like someone in your own country, right? You have to first of all find out how that works. You have to be able to get a common ground and all of that. So that helps with all the boundaries, because if you're not used to being professional, you would, your subconscious, you will say something in that call that you're not meant to say.
Hmm.
And probably in their own culture, they don't take it funny.
That's why when I call you, you be sounding all professional on the phone. But then I
Yeah.
tell you by 4G.
Don't mind me. But yes, I had to get used to that because there are
Alright.
people that you have to be able to say some things. You have to be able to get or understand some things that they would like, right? And sometimes I get some customers that say some weird
But
things,
don't
but
sound professional on the phone with me again. Drop your work at work with me. Be laid back on the
yeah,
call.
I
Because I
understand.
know when I
So
call you, like, hello, like, I'm like, what's going to
don't mind me, but it's part of me already. But
Right, I know.
sometimes I
Just
do that
kidding.
to some friends, and
But
just
why you do that to me? I'm your sister.
my sister.
Yeah.
I forgot. Don't worry.
Okay, for me, I had to learn
Yeah.
the to put a boundary
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, you and I mean, know where we come from. We are very hardworking, and this value has been imbibed or imprinted in us since we're young.
Yeah.
Like whatever your hand finds to do, you have to do it well with all your might, all your
Sure.
strength,
Sure.
everything. So I'm a kind of person that when I have my attention focused on something, I give it my all.
Yeah.
Every single thing, work, friendship, man, anything. Like I am all focused and give everything my best. That's
Yeah.
kind of person I am. So if I'm in a job, best believe I give it my all, my best. I tend to even do more. I tend to even work on Saturdays, on Sundays, right? But I had to get to this point in my life where I'm like, okay, look, you have to slow down.
Yeah.
You just have to slow down. Other parts of your life should not suffer. And I feel like what also gave me that reminder was when I lost my dad last year. My dad and I were very close when we were growing up. I mean, super close.
Yeah.
But when I started working and got into my career, into the career space, I became so busy that I didn't realize so much time had passed that we're not talking as much as we used to talk. I mean, even before I left home and started living alone, when I was in my parents' house, and I come back late, I'm so tired, I'm so fagged out. My dad is like, "How are you? I'm fine, daddy. I need to rest." And then, days goes by, months goes by, years goes by. Even when I left home, like I just always thought in my head like, "There's time," And then when I lost my dad in my head, I'm like, "Whoa, there's really no time," you know. So in my head, I'm like, for my friends now, I make time now for those who matter to me. I
Yeah.
make time for my nephews. No
Very
matter,
valid.
there was a day I was really tired. Had gone on errands, gone to so many places, and I'd promised my little nephew that I was coming to see him. I was having headache that day, like, but I just didn't want to let him down.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "Are you sure you don't want to rest?" Allah, Lua would understand you. I'm like, I made a promise to him, and I went to see him. Seeing the joy on his face made me happy.
Sure.
So right now, I've understood that you have to create balance. Let work be at work. When you're at home with your loved ones, your family, create that time for yourself, even for your personal things, because you don't just want to be in one aspect of your life and then every other aspect of your life is failing. No, if you even look at it, some persons, speaking of maybe not in this generation, our generation, when the men were the ones always out there
Yeah.
pushing to
Providing.
provide for the family. Not like the women weren't doing anything, but not as much as the men. At some point, the men started feeling disconnect, like, oh, the mother had relationship with the kids and they were lacking in that, regardless of the fact that they were provided
Yeah.
shelter, clothing, and everything else, right? So my point is, I feel like we have to do better in this generation. We have to do better in our lives. I know that yes, you need to work, but the balance is important. My third question is, how do you handle work-related stress?
Wow. Work-related stress. I really don't know how to handle stress.
Hmm.
You know that question when are you able to work under pressure and all of that? Please don't ask me that because I don't know how to do that thing.
Hmm.
And the reason why for me is that my health doesn't know how to handle stress.
Hmm.
So I have to consider that first before start answering
Hmm.
such questions and
Hmm.
trying to get a job. I know people tell you sell yourself, say all of these things and blah blah blah. But no, that's why when I get into work, I try to let people know that okay, I I know what I'm doing, and this is if you give me a step by step process on how to do something or what you want me to do, I follow deep on that and I do it, right? So majorly for me, when stress starts to come in, is because I'm beginning to overload myself with work,
Hmm.
and they're bringing in more job roles, or they are bringing in more tasks. Okay, this is what I need you to do. You need to do this, do this. Yes, that was not stated earlier, right? But I understand. I understand. And then for me, when that starts to happen, it tells on my health, and my health indirectly will tell you, right? And you'll be like, okay, I think I need to do this. I need to do that, right? So, and if that boundary that we spoke about is not there, right? That is what happens. It overwhelms the person, and for me, it does overwhelm me, and I'll need to take some time off.
Hmm.
So, what I do majorly, right, when I start feeling that stress, by the time that stress starts becoming, or the pressure is becoming too much, um, then I try to talk to a colleague, right?
Okay.
Because
To help out.
yes,
Hmm.
because there's no how, if I know that okay, this thing I'm not able to do it, or not because I can't do it, but because I know that I need to share this responsibility to an
Hmm.
extent. So I try to share it.
Hmm.
I'll say,
Okay.
okay, I need help with this,
Okay.
or I'll get somebody to work with me on something,
Hmm.
so that at least instead of spending a longer time on that thing, it will be reduced when someone is there, another eye is looking at it,
Hmm.
and then we are working together.
Hmm.
It makes it flow
That's
very
good.
fast.
I like the
Yes,
fact that when you need help, you're not afraid to ask for help.
sure,
That's very important
sure,
because I feel
very,
like
very
that's a
important.
quality that is lacking. A lot of people are scared to ask for help, probably due to ego, pride, and they just feel like
Mm,
they can handle it by themselves. So
sure,
being able
sure.
to ask for help when you need it is important.
Yeah.
And to counter what you said, I think you know how to handle stress well. Do you know why I said
Hmm.
that? Because you knowing that you have a limit is you being handling it. Because you being able to understand that this is my limit, I don't want to push myself past this. That is you even handling it, right?
Makes
So
sense.
that's the way of handling stress.
Sure, sure, sure.
So for me, how do I handle stress? Well, truth be told, I work on normal circumstance, I work well, but I work at my best, peak, optimum when there's pressure.
Nice.
Like when there's pressure, my friends can testify when we're in school during towards exams. I might not read as much, just read here and there. But when exam is like a week,
Yourself.
I push myself. I might not even sleep. I might catch little sleep. Like when I just know that this is staring right at me in the face, my head and my mind and everything is zoned in. I'm like, I need to achieve this, and that's all I think about. So I feel like I know that I work best like under pressure, even at work. And you know, during my dad's burial, um, someone came, one of his friends came, and the person was like, "Oh, when he was at the bank, he was a crisis manager. He used to work well under pressure." In my mind, I'm like, "Okay, I think I know where I got this from now." So I worked very well under pressure. However, the older you get, you need to realize you need to slow down. Because I remember when my dad was alive, there was something he used to tell me when I come back from work and I'm climbing up the stairs all fatigued. My dad is like, "My daughter, make out time to rest. I know you're a hard worker like me. Just take out time to rest." He used to say that. I'd be like, "Oh, daddy, I'm going to rest." But now I feel like I hear his voice in my head every time, like, rest. So now I tell myself, formally, when I come back from work, I'm tired. Because at work, you don't have the time to rest your phone, be on the net or something
Yeah.
like that. And you still want to be updated to know what's happening, right? So when I get home, formally, I'll be on the net or maybe find one or two things to read or do something till like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock before I sleep.
Yeah.
And then I have to wake up very early and set out. But now, when I get back, I put a better structure. If it's 10 o'clock, I need to sleep by 10. Like nothing and nobody is going to stress me or stop me from doing that. I have put a structure now. So what I'm going to say is handling work-related stress takes intentionality on your part. You have to be intentional because if you don't set those boundaries, your body will tell you, like you said,
Sure.
your health will tell you, and you don't want to wait until you get a feedback from your body. You should be proactive before it tells you. You should be proactive to say, okay, I need to put a lid on this.
Yeah, that makes sense. From what you just said, that structure is also, it's just also saying that you need to build a system, right?
Right.
And building a system could it goes both ways.
Hmm.
To be on the organization side, also on the individual that actually wants to have a work-life balance, right? We will not go into organizations and how they plan their own work-life balance, right?
Right. But you on your own try to
Exactly,
create that.
exactly.
Be
Because
intentional about
in
creating
this
that
part of the world, right,
balance for
you
yourself.
have to, that start with you, because regardless of any organization or any company, right, even Nigeria itself is something that you need to be
Nigeria
able
is an
to.
interesting country.
Very interesting.
That's all I'm
A,
gonna
a
say.
colleague of mine, just on the side, said something that when we are writing CVs as Nigerians, we put Lagos as one of your experience, because living in Lagos alone
Living in Lagos
is one thing.
is an experience in its own. Trust me. The traffic to work, the traffic, but
A lot of stress before you even get to work
see,
stress.
when I get behind the wheel and I'm driving, I feel like I'm just a robot. I get to work. I know I'm coming. I feel like it's just a robot behind the wheel because
It's much,
really
right?
the stress is a lot.
Much.
It's a lot, but we'll pull through. We'll pull
Yeah,
through.
sure. I'll take a lot from what you said, because I think it's something that I need right now, because I'm in a new job role, and
Being
quite,
intentional,
yeah,
right?
yes, being intentional about it, and just create that system that needs to work for me one time, right?
Right.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. So my next question applies to you, right?
Okay.
So how has remote work affected your life?
Um, I think I mentioned this to you, right? A colleague of mine reached out that a friend in the state needed to do a project, and she reached out to guys that are into tech, right?
Okay.
And just to be able to talk to them about work-life balance and
Okay.
also remote work.
Okay.
And we had a bit of conversation majorly about this, right? So I would say working from home has affected my life, because it has given me time also to chase after some other things, because in this space it is more of what you can do when you're talking about IT, right? It is, yeah, you might need a lot of certifications, and but those will give you like the background fundamentals, what you need to know, how you need to understand it, how the process works, right? But hands-on is also very important, right? And a few weeks back, when I was training some guys, new guys coming into the company, for me, best way for me to teach is to show you, because it's the best way for me to also learn,
Okay.
right? So I would say working from home and having that time, because there are sometimes you're entitled to at least, let's say, 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour for like lunch, and then 30 minutes for break.
Okay.
I'm at home. I can probably just pull in something to eat very quickly, right? But
Yeah.
also that time, I use it to do some labs. Kind of call it reproduce, right? We kind of reproduce some environment, because
Okay.
my previous work experience was having some infrastructures on the cloud, right? You build network infrastructures for clients, or let's say they come to you with their network infrastructures, and then something is broken and they don't know what. So for you to best understand it is also replicate that in your own lab and be like, okay, I guess this is this, and you are able to understand, and you're like, okay, I think the reason why this is broken is because you have not been able to do this. But when I was working from the office, it is very difficult. I have to deal with such situations based off of what the customer is telling me.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, most of them will not tell you the true story. They will
Okay.
lie to, not like they intentionally lie, but they will leave out some
You get
things,
some
and probably
parts, yeah.
because it's their policy to not to say some things, but it doesn't really help. If I really need help from you, I have to tell you everything,
Yes, you have
right?
to be very
So
open.
exactly. So one of the things we do is to just reproduce the issue. But working from the office, handling more than one customer in a day, I won't have that time.
Okay.
So now I'm working from home. I would have the time. I could probably use my break, use my lunch, reproduce that, or even if it's after work hours, set some expectations to the customer and let them know that, okay, I understand how important it is to you. I will take some time to um, look further into your environment, and me telling them that is just to be able to have time to be able to do it on
Okay.
my own end and
So
then
because you
work
have
around it.
extra time to yourself because you're working from home,
Yes.
you can squeeze out these little things or
Yes.
push these little things into that time.
Exactly.
Unlike if you were at work where you had to like put everything together and then you don't really have the time to do things
You
as,
don't go deep.
I don't want to use the word detailed, as you would have
Exactly, because
when you have more time
yeah,
to
because
your
it
hands.
is one thing for you to resolve the issue. It's also one thing for you to impart that knowledge to the customer, so that in
Right.
long time they know that this is how we go about it. This is how we are able to
You're
do
you're
it.
you're right. You're right because I feel like this is something I've also noticed. Most persons who go to work, most of them because they want to meet this certain target, they just tend to
Exactly.
do this haphazardly. Touch this, reach out to this client. It's just haphazard, right? Unlike when you have this time to yourself, you're able to do much more.
Yes,
You're
and
able to give your best much more.
yes, you're right. And one thing that this colleague also mentioned was that um, because I don't hate the banking industry for anybody working in that, but tell you the truth, she also stated this and was, you see other colleagues of yours in other industries, right? Every day they then begin to post and like, oh, I just gained this certification. But you're in the bank in a space whereby you need to understand, you need to give time to it. You're dealing with money, right? You need to be able to do it very well. So there's no even, or there's
Room for
little room
growth.
for you to grow. Exactly. There's no time for you to say, okay, because me reproducing a customer's environment, it means that I have an understanding of that. So next time, if someone comes again, I'm able to like just off the top of my head say, okay, I need you to check this, I need you to check this, I need to check this. And if we are done with that and we still need to do further things. So some customers, because you've done this before, they'll be like, oh wow, you're a genius. And no, it's because I practiced this, because I was able to put time for myself to be able to do some things for myself, right? But in some other job roles, you won't be able to do that. And if the balance is not also there, there's no room for growth.
Now, speaking of persons who are going through things, maybe they have a very tight schedule and they don't have time to do what they want to do, like take extra courses and certification. Now, the truth is, a lot of persons are experiencing that. I know a lot of people who work very hard,
Yes.
who spend extra time, extra hours at work, and they barely have time to do their own things because when they get home, they are fagged out.
Exactly.
Now, that brings me, my advice to such persons is intentionality. One thing I've understood in life is where there is a will, there is a way.
Yes.
Trust me, it might be harder, it might be tougher, you might need to spend more because if you have to take a course physically and you have to go via the online route, it might cost you more,
Yeah.
right? But just see it as that sacrifice you're making.
Yeah.
It might cost you having to cut down on some sleep time,
Sure.
spending time with your friends. It might cost you more, but what's most important is I think have a goal for yourself. When you have a plan, where there is a will, there is always a way. Trust me, I understand that you might get sucked in with or sucked up in your busy schedule, your busy life.
Yeah.
But you just have to wake up and remind yourself that this is not your destination, this is not where you want to be.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
just a channel to where you want to be.
Exactly.
So you have to always remember and remind yourself. Once you remind yourself, your brain will begin to think of ways to walk through it.
Yeah. And you don't want to regret it later.
You don't want to
on.
regret
Telling
it.
yourself you
You
didn't
don't want to
do
regret it.
everything you
Once you keep reminding yourself, this is not what I want to do like
forever.
forever. This is just in the interim. Your mind begins to scout for ways. Now, nobody is saying you should not give your best where you are. I am a believer wherever you are, everyone should always see your touch. I always want to be in a place where I give my best. And when I'm out, they'll be like, whoa, that was a gem that just left. So when I'm here, I'm giving you my best. However, I still have it at the back of my mind that this is what I want to do. You understand? So give your best wherever you are at, right? So you remember for good and your own personal input in the organization where you find yourself,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Makes sense.
So my final question to you, my darling, is what activities do you engage in? Because I feel like you need to engage in activities so you don't feel bored. For me nowadays, my weekends are no longer boring because I have put a better structure in my life because it's ever evolving, right?
Sure.
And the fact that I know I'm going to do this over the weekend just gets me excited. It could be going out with my friends. It could be having to do this, a mental-ish. It could be anything, like it just makes me excited. So what activities would you suggest that people embark in or involve themselves in or indulge in to
So-
ease off stress?
Oh, to ease off stress, right? For me, right, as I said, not much of social life, right, and majorly my fun time is in church. I, my sound weird, but tell you the truth,
Oh,
that's
and
what I've had.
he's a very good musician. He sings so
It's
well.
okay. That is fine. Maybe.
Well, you know you do.
Okay, yes. Once in a time, once in a while, right? Just get in church, hang out, sing, rehearse, and all of that. But play games once in a while, right? Even my workstation. Sometimes when I know that okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this particular job or this role or what the task I'm on right now, just switch everything, go to the game, play, and have a little time for myself also while working because it's very important. And then I think I took a course back then and it was like sometimes just stop working, go to YouTube, look for funny videos and just to be able to clear your mind, just be able to
Relax.
yeah relax, right?
Watch
So
good movies.
going out is not I don't it's probably as you said right go out with friends and all of that but for me it's
I know you're
we are
an
still
introvert.
building that yes maybe because most of my friends too are into the same thing so we really do not have that time to say okay let's hang out let's but once in a while just call them up talk chat and you also keep me company it's also good it's
Oh,
still
thank you. I try. I'm a good friend. Okay, so my own final advice to my viewers is make out time for people who matter to you. That cannot be overemphasized.
yeah
I mean, if you're a husband, you're busy with your work, I understand. Make out time for your wife, your kids. Same way, if you are a career oriented woman, make way for your husband, make way for your kids. So you don't look back 10 years from now, 20 years from now,
yeah
when you don't have that job anymore and feel like, I wish I had done better.
yeah
I know that resonates with someone. So make out time out of your busy schedule for those that matter to you, right? And I know that would also help you live a much more fulfilled life. Make out time for things that you love to do, things that will make you happy. I mean, at the end of your life, you want to feel like I lived, like
yeah
I really lived. I enjoyed life. I knew what life was about. I saw the world. I had fun,
yeah
right?
yeah.
So that's it for me today for Mental Age. And thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me,
Whoa,
for bringing me out
it
of my
took a
comfort
lot
zone.
to bring you here.
Sure. I know,
They would
right?
not understand, but it took a whole lot. And I don't take that for granted.
No problem.
I love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so
Tell me
much.
you love me back.
I love you more.
Good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. If
Yeah.
you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video, share this video as well. And we'll see next week with another interesting topic.